Alright, welcome back, good people. On this video, I'm going to talk just a little bit more about our behavior. Our behavior has such an impact on the way we live our lives and the way we end our lives, where we end up at the end of our lives, that, from time to time I like to touch on it to try to put a little tip or a little advice to those who maybe hadn't heard this before. So I done some research this week, and there's a group that I did research on that wrote a system called 16 Behaviors of an Executive Presence. And one of the behaviors elements was business intelligence, which is what I love to talk about, business. And business is part of everyone's life. And it should be a part of your life as the owner of your own business. Because where we are today in the 21st century, it's so simple, so easy, so inexpensive, so doesn't require a lot of your time, but it does require your time, and it requires more of your understanding. So I like to help people with that endeavor, with that journey that they decide to embark upon. Now, there are other things you can do. You can actually participate in volunteer things. You can do things as far as you might want to write a book. You might want to do something that you just had a bucket list and you wanted to scratch some things off, right? But regardless of what that is, you're going to have to take responsibility and change some things about who you are today so that can get you there. By those changes that you make can get you to what it is that you want to accomplish. So under the business intelligence, he talks about stand out by thinking strategically. What are you doing and how are you identifying yourself differently than what the norm is showing the world, right? When I go to look for hammers, I just look for hammers, right? I don't know hammer brands, but if I was in that field, I would probably know different hammer brands. Like if I was in the automotive field, I would probably know different tire brands, right? Because those things are valuable to know in the business world. The next thing he talks about is take a whole company perspective. In other words, evaluate your whole process. What is it that this section does, that section does, this section does, and how they work together to create an outcome or result. That's how businesses are set up. Businesses are set up on system basis. This system runs that system runs that, this system runs that, and they all create this outcome. That's how it works, right? So you have to know what those are to correctly get this system for the least amount of cost, least amount of time, and the least amount of effort, right? To save money, make money, generate an income. And that's how that works. It also says, learn the language of finance. What does that mean? Well, what do you do with your money when you get money? If you have a business set up or you have a windfall where you get $20,000 cash, what do you do with that $20,000? Do you just spend it? Do you just become a consumer and go get everything you always wanted that you could buy for less than $20,000? No, that money is considered earned income. You have to learn what to do with money, especially if you plan on making more money, because there's a place called the IRS that they want some of that money as you make it, right? They call it their portion, but if you don't give them their portion, then they get kind of upset. So there are ways of diverting that portion or altering that portion, right? But you have to have it set up under a business structure. That's one of the benefits of having a business, which is why my company teaches you how to set up your own business, because you actually get tax breaks once you have this company set up properly, and you just run your business, just continue to run your business. Now, the next thing he talks about is risk taking. Now, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to take certain risks from time to time. That's just part of it. So if you're not willing to do that, you're not going to be a good entrepreneur. Let me say that again. If you're not willing to take calculated timely risk, you're not going to be a good entrepreneur, because that's how things come to you in life. Right? I come to you with some very valuable information that can move the needle in what you're doing, but that window is going to close like this. Boom. You need to make a decision right now. Are you in or out? If you say, well, no, I'm going to be out, that's okay. It's okay to say that. But just understand this. Whatever benefits come from that, you get zero. You get zero. You got opportunity. It's like when you get an opportunity to speak and you've been practicing and your technique, your skill and everything, getting it together, and then I offer you $1,000 to come and speak for this event, and you tell me, I can't do it. What? It's kind of like defeating the purpose when you say. Okay, but anyway, under risk taking, he says, exceed your expectations and theirs. So what are you expecting of yourself when you have a client? When you acquire a client and you perform your service, what experience are you wanting that client to walk away with? Right? What knowledge level do you want them to have attained by listening to you or watching you or reading your information? What is that? Because that has to be relevant and it has to be valuable to them for them to give you a good check, right? Or if they give you a testimony, you want that to be complimentary, right? You don't want them to say, "Oh, I hated it, I hated it, I hated it." But it's okay to say that if you hated it. But if you putting out that type of material where people can hate it, then that's probably what you're gonna get. But you have to be mindful of that kind of stuff. Another thing under risk taking is move beyond your comfort zone. Now we all have comfort zones that we kind of, in my mindset, go in and out of, right? Like I'll work hard to get out of my comfort zone and get to another level, and then that becomes comfortable. And then I have to acknowledge that, okay, I've been in this comfort zone for a minute, now it's time for me to move to the next level, gain more information. Because as you gain more information, you're able to take another step. That's why you gain that information. That's why you open that door or that portal to more information. More opportunities come with that. Again, it's up to you to take that risk or make that opportunity yours. The third thing they talk about is self-development, which is really big on my agenda, because my number one understanding is to understand self. Their number one says to know thyself. Same thing, right? That's what you have to do. You have to know why you are you. You don't have to know why I'm me. You have to know why you are you. And then position the good things where you want the good things, and the things that are kind of weak, you just, you might not even need those. Just leave those for later, right? In case you need them, right? Or in case you're running out of all the good things. That's how that works. Now, another thing under self-development is seek feedback. That's major. Feedback is major. Although a lot of people look at feedback as being negative. Oh, what are they saying? What are they saying? Oh, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. If they're saying negative stuff, that just means you need to make some adjustments, right? That don't mean you are scum of the world, or you need to, stop doing what you're doing. It just means you need to make some adjustments. As simple as that, right? Everybody's not going to like you, but that's okay. How do you feel about creating that content, right? Because if you feel good about creating that content over time, you'll be real good at it. Boom, boom. You can just drop it off. And then they will like that. They will begin to appreciate that in you, because they'll see the authenticity that you bring to it. It'll be you. When they watch that video, they know that I'm listening to Larry James. They're listening to you, whoever you are. And you'll feel good about it because you put that content out there for them to view, which is your job. The next thing they talk about under self-development is gain confidence. How do we gain confidence? Trial and error. You gain confidence by repetition. You gain confidence by being rewarded or awarded. All those things help you feel better about yourself. make it easier for you to go forward with what it is that you want to go forward with. Because as you gain confidence and win a trophy or win an award for this, that's not the end. That's just a step. What else are you going to do? What have you done for me lately, right? You're going to have to do something else, right? And you're going to have to do something else. But all that is molding and creating who you are and making you either better or worse. Because there are a lot of people who have a lot of accolades, a lot of things, a lot of letters behind their names, but they're not nice people. They're just not. They actually become arrogant. They actually feel like every time they get an award, it rises them above the rest. Oh no, that's not the way it works. We're all individuals and we're all the same. You're not better than me, I'm not better than you. Period. Regardless of what your income statement says, or regardless of what my income statement says, I am no better than you. You cut me, I'll bleed. You shoot me, I'll probably die. Right? That's how that works. And unless you can avoid that type of thing, then we're all the same. What you know is just different than what I know. What I know is just different than from what you know. And it can all be taught. If I sit down with you and just explain anything that you wanted to know about what it is that I do, you can understand it. Does that make you better than the person that didn't get that information? No. It just means you know something they don't know. Now the final thing under self-development that they have is sharpen and expand your skills through training. Training. Wow. It's like it doesn't stop either. It's for life, because you can get so good at this. It can become so natural, so easy for you that when people see it, they just like, ooh, we gotta get this guy, we gotta get this lady, right? You gotta come hear her speak. You gotta come hear him speak. And again, one of the things that you have to do is incorporate a way for you, just like I did, to remain humble. That's a very big word for me, humble. I love the fact that regardless of what people say about me, good or bad, I can remain humble. Now, it's not easy for me to do that because I was someone who had an ego. Because I don't have low self-esteem. I do believe in me. So that wasn't an issue for me at all. As a matter of fact, I really believe in me. So my thing was pulling that back once I was pat on the back, or once I received the awards, or once this happened or that happened, right? So through trial and error, repetition, I started to redirect how I wanted to receive what I was receiving, right? Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. And that's it. Enough said. The next thing I go on to is what I decide to do. Now the final thing I want to talk to you about on this video is interpersonal relationships. That's a topic that they have. That's very important. In that, well, I'll say under that umbrella of interpersonal relationships, they talk about communicate clearly, which I seem to have a problem with right now. Lead, don't manage, right? Lead people. Don't just, go over there and do this, go over there and do that. And share the spotlight. Share the limelight, right? When you are awarded or rewarded certain things, let the system know that this is not a one-man show. This is not a one-woman show. Yes, I do this, but because of X and X and X, it makes it so much easier. Give them acknowledgement. Like this, I just took a 5-state vacation. I took my IT person with me to reward her for the great job that she does in my business, so that she gets a chance to experience some new states and see some things that she never scratch some things off her bucket list, right? And then come back and get to work on the second quarter of the business, and who knows what the next vacation or the next hiatus is going to be. Maybe trip to Florida, maybe a trip to the Bahamas, you don't know. But you work hard, you want to play hard, right? And that can be done. That's doable. But only if you decide that that's what you want. My name is Larry James. My company is Speaker Larry. Sharpen.com. Share these videos, like these videos, and I'll see you on the next video.